Welcome back to the channel. I have a hostel review for you guys today. Now, I recommend if you're traveling around Southeast Asia, the best thing for you to do when it comes to finding an accommodation is to stay in a hostel. It's going to give you the best opportunity to meet other travelers and get ideas of maybe where to go or what to do next. So today's video, we're going to be reviewing the all-day hostel in Bangkok. So for today's review, we're going to be discussing all the important things like location, cleanliness, check-in process, atmosphere, and more. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about location. As far as location's concerned, for me, this was the perfect spot because it was just a quick BTS stop to the convention center because I booked this place because I was attending the Ultra Music Festival just up the street. So for me, the location was perfect. That's why I booked it. Closest place to get to the festival, closest hostel that I could find on Hostel World to the festival grounds. But it's also pretty conveniently located because you couldn't take the BTS SkyTrain the other way. So if you want to go down to like Terminal 21 or Soy 11, that whole area is where there's malls, nightclubs, restaurants. It's a pretty popular area in like the downtown district. So as far as location goes, it's not in the heat of the action, but the BTS train will get you to pretty much anywhere you want to go. So as far as location's concerned, I'd say it's a pretty good location. All right, cleanliness. In all honesty, I would say that this is the worst hostel that I've stayed in as far as when it comes to cleanliness. The bathrooms were probably the worst of it because it was extremely dirty. It looked like the facilities had not been cleaned in a really long time. The showers had just all kind of, the walls were filthy, the floors were filthy, hair all over the place. The toilets were disgusting and dirty. Some of the bathrooms, they had put limes on top of like the tanks of the toilets, I guess to help with the smell, but you can tell that this was done such a long time ago because these were now like molding. And there was also an upstairs bathroom. So my room was on the second floor and there were bathrooms on that floor, and I couldn't even go in those bathrooms because the smell was just horrendous. And it was extremely filthy as well. But so both men's bathrooms and women's bathrooms, I didn't go all the way in the women's bathrooms, but the doors are open so you can kind of see the cleanliness of the facilities, because after going into the men's, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to use the women's, and the women's wasn't any better. But on the third floor, I guess there was no one staying on the third floor, so those bathrooms were a little bit cleaner. Not that they had been cleaned, because they hadn't. It was just as filthy. It just didn't smell as bad, and it just wasn't as dirty. But staying here under these conditions, I did not want to use the bathroom. And that's just the bathrooms, but the common areas really weren't any better. Like the front patio area, where it's just more of like a sitting area, kind of like a smoking area, or a place if you want to drink your coffee, just, you know, in the front of the hostel, which is generally, you want it to be like a welcoming place. There was just trash, and it just hadn't been cleaned in a really long time. The plants and the planters up front were dead or dying. So there just really wasn't any love put into this property. When you walk through the other common areas, like the kitchen, there's a shared kitchen, which is nice to have, but it was really also disgusting. If you when I opened the refrigerator, it just didn't get any better. So as far as cleanliness goes, I don't think that this place got even close to checking the mark. The dorms, at least, I would say were okay. I stayed in a 4-bed dorm, and there was one other guy in the room with me, and he was pretty clean. So the room itself was clean. When I checked in, my bed looked at least clean, but the bed under me looked like it was supposed to be clean, but it quite wasn't. And there was also a bed above him that was not clean. It looked like someone had recently stayed there. But the guy that was in the room said he had been there for almost a week. So, and he was there by himself the whole time. That was the first time he had shared the room with someone. So I don't think they did the best job on the individual bunks. So as far as cleanliness goes, I would say this place fell far below the mark. I would not stay here again because of this alone. The check-in process, I would say, went pretty smoothly. I booked the reservation through Hostel World. I think I only paid like $8.27 per night. But when you book through Hostel World, they only charge you deposit up front, which is just a couple of bucks. And then when you check in, you pay the remaining balance upon check-in. The girls did forget to charge me the remaining balance when I checked in until I came back later in the evening, a few hours later. Then they remembered to charge me for the check-in. But other than that, check-in process went pretty smoothly. Security. As far as security goes, I would say they did okay. So they did. As far as security goes, I would say that they did okay with security. There was no security person like on property, at any point in time during the day or the night. But there was a key card that you had to have in order to access the building lobby. Then also to go up the stairs. In order to go up the stairs in the evening, there's a door that you would have to key card in to go up the stairs. And then also in the rooms themselves, they had lockers and they gave you a key to your own individual locker. So as far as security goes, they had quite a bit. They just didn't have an actual person available in the event that you needed someone. Atmosphere. I stayed here 2 nights, 2 nights longer than I would have wanted to. But the atmosphere itself, there really wasn't much. The guy in my room was pretty cool, and I chatted with him, quite a bit. But outside of that, the building did not seem that it was very much. It was pretty empty. There was only a few other people that I saw that were staying there, because I saw them like outside smoking in like the front porch area. But outside of that, there was no social scene. There were no hostel events or anything like that. It's not a party hostel. It's just a typical hostel to stay at. But they didn't have any sort of activities. They do have a restaurant on the first floor. I did not eat at the restaurant, but it did look pretty cool, and the prices weren't too bad. But so it was nice to have this available right inside of the building. Accommodation options. So this hostel only offers bunks. There are no privates available at this time. The staff themselves, I mean, they were there, so they helped with check-in and answered the basic questions that I had. I asked if I could move to the lower bunk because I didn't want to be in the top, but they said it was booked. No one actually checked in the 2 nights that I was there on the lower bunk, so I guess they just lied to me or didn't want to move me. And then also like the staff was just kind of like sleeping, so they weren't really like interacting or they were just there if you needed them. Many times on the couch sleeping or behind the desk sleeping. So not the best experience with the staff in a hostel. Wi-Fi. So I was able to connect to the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was available, and it did work mostly with no issues. So good job on the Wi-Fi. All right, value for the money. I would say no, not so good. The place was so disgustingly filthy that I didn't feel comfortable being there because I didn't want to use the restroom where I was staying. And just thinking about the rest of the property, like when I went outside or any of the other areas, this place was not like cleaned like properly. I don't know when the last time that was. So it was really gross just being in this hostel. So it was only like $8 and some change per night, but even if it was free, I would choose to not stay here. So value for the money, I think no. There's no dollar amount that would make me want to stay here. Overall experience, not good. Again, it was just so disgusting to be in the building that it just wasn't comfortable. So I would not recommend this place. They need some serious cleaning there. Yeah. But not to worry, there is another place that I would recommend. The next hostel review is a place that I would stay absolutely next time I come to Bangkok. I had a great experience there. So stay tuned for that.